Okay, I'm going to wait a few minutes. I'm a little early. Wait for the chat to populate some, and we'll start a lesson. In the meantime, I'm just going to hang out, fool around, and warm up a little bit. Nothing spectacular, just a physical relaxation mode. Hey, Robert, can you hear me? Again, Robert, we're going to work out of the stick control book. Going to be working with vamps. Actually, we're going to work with 1, 2, 3 voices and the stick control. So I've got your stick control out, and we're going to interpret the page. We're going to reference off the page. As a right would become, if I look at the right, I go 1. If I look at the left, it becomes the bass drum. And so if I played the pattern 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's what's written. But now we changed it to 2 other voices. R equals hi-hat. L equals bass drum. So I have 1 and 2, and that's line 5, and 4, and I go to line 3, right, left. 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. And now, what gets very confusing about this is you try to remember, well, did I make my right, when I referenced off the page, did I make my right the floor tom-tom or the bass drum? And it's a little stressed. That's the difficulty of the lesson, actually. So, hey, Seth. So, what we're going to do, we're going to play at least page 5, page 5, line 1, maybe the 5 lines, 6 lines, I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add to that. Remember, the R equals floor tom-tom, the L equals the bass drum. So now, while I'm interpreting the book, I'm going to play my left hand an 8th note vamp. So that's going to go constant. And while that's going, I'm going to do it really slow. While that's going, you're going to interpret the first line like we did. 1 and 2 and against this, nice and slow. You get the idea, nice and slow. So now, as you get the idea of it, you're going to maybe try to play it a little faster. Actually, the slower you play it, and you be consistent with yourself, go through line 1 to 12 without making a mistake. Okay, that would be nice. Okay, so anyway, like I said, hey, it's boring like that. It's essential. That's going to make you stronger. If I played it up tempo. Simple. If I did line 3, nice and slow. Let me turn the slowers on. you're going to have line 3. The R's become the floor tom-tom. The L's become the bass drum again, right? So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's line 5. You get that, guys? Seth? Robert? You get it? So, I should have went to line 3, though. I'm doing a little up tempo. And you can have a lot of fun with these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 3. You can have a lot of fun with them. And what you're doing is you're sort of consolidating your lesson, your practice. You're working that left hand with eighth notes, whatever tempo you select. And now you're interpreting, actually, you're looking at the stick control book, and now you've created a different interpretation with the rights, the tom-tom, the L's, the bass drum against that pattern. It becomes a totally different thing. But while you're doing that, you're developing a lot of additional skills you're not aware of, such a total control or development of control of your independence, your limbs. Simple. And I try to make it as fun as possible. What is this? Say it again. Hold on a sec. You understand it? Okay. I think that's what I'm answering. There's such a delay. Wow. So we have a lot of fun with it. Now, just hang out with that for a while, because I'm going to load you guys up right now. So what you're doing, you want to do it as slow as possible. You're going to see why the next move. The first move was we were playing the eighth notes on a snare drum constantly. At about a quarter stroke, nice and mezzo forte. Mezzo piano, excuse me. So that's going to do eighth notes. All right. Now, what I want to add to that, you already know the first one. What I want to add to that one is I'm going to play the eighth note still with the left hand. But this time, I'm going to drop an accent on the count of 1 and 3. So I get this. Now look at the left hand. There's levels are there. It's down, tap, up, tap. Now down, tap, tap, up. 1. So now you're practicing the levels. You're getting an eighth note vamp going on with an accent on 1 and 3. Now you want to implement what you just learned from the first interpretation. Now this gets a little unusual at first. So you might want to just do it as slow as this. 1 and 2 and 3. See how it's slow? I'd like you to do it. You understand it? It's not easy. This is a hard one. I like to think of it 16ths. We'll get to that one again, okay? Let's let that one go. But you understand it. Now, let me suggest something to the people who frequent the lesson. And the ones who don't, if they want to get today's PDFs, that's cool. No problem, okay? Email me and I'll send them to you. And by the way, guys, tonight we're on Facebook, okay? So you could do the same thing with what you call syncopation. Has anybody here ever heard of, say, I don't have the syncopation book right here. I don't think, no. No. Okay. When does anybody ever hear the term long and short notes? Anybody ever hear that? Yeah, you did. Seth, you heard of it. No? Let me get the syncopation. No, no. Okay. Never heard of it. Long or short. I don't know who created it, but it does make a lot of sense. It makes things kind of a little easier. What this is, I like to revert over to the reading a little bit, like the syncopation book. And if you open up the one page, okay, any page really for that matter, when it gets a little syncopated, let's say we have a measure. Oh boy, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now I just played a combination of what's that? I was playing a combination of quarter notes and eighth notes. Maybe that's a little bit much just to get into this. If I played a measure 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I have 3 quarter notes and 2 eighth notes. So now every time I come to an eighth note, it's short. Every time I come to a quarter note, it's short. One more example. 2 quarter notes. 1, 2. Now we're going to revert to the end. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in that measure, I just play 2 quarter notes and 2 eighth notes. If you see a quarter note, that's considered a long note. If you see an eighth note by itself, that's the short note. So if I had a combination, let's say that 1 and 2, 3, 4. I see, okay, I'm going to make my short notes. I'm going to read that figure. I'm going to make my short notes the bass drum, the long notes, the floor tom tom. So the figure again was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's the figure. Now I'm going to play eighth notes on top. You got to remember this figure. I think if the chord out 1 and 1 and 2. Let me get another figure. That's 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And. Okay, here we go. 1 and. Now the quarter notes equal to bass drum. That's the long note. Now I come to 4 and. I have 2 eighth notes. 2 short notes. That's short, long and short. Remember the bass drum. You understand? You hit it. Does it make more sense to you, Seth? Robert, does it make more sense? No. Well, the long or short should make sense to you. And did you see how I interpreted that one line? 3 quarter notes and 2 eighth notes. That was 1 and 2 and 3 and short. So that 4 and is short. The 1, 2, 3 is quarter notes is long. 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, You can take any line and do that with it. You understand it? You don't understand long note and short note. Are you kidding me? All right, maybe this will make it clearer. Think of one measure in your head in 4/4, four quarter notes. Now you look at the music and you say, okay, there's a quarter note in each space with the staff coming up. That's considered long note. So if I played 1, 2, 3, 4, and I made all long notes my bass drum, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I look at the next measure, I make another measure up, an eighth note rest, an eighth note, an eighth note rest, an eighth note, and 2 quarter notes. Now remember, the short note is going to be here. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I got to show you in a book. I got to open up a page. You understand? Okay. Second, it's so simple, man. But anyway, tonight we're going to be on Facebook at 7 p.m. in the Art of Drumming group. Okay? We have any questions on that eighth note band to have a little fun with? Any questions? Anything you want to go over in particular? I am working on 3 different, I'm writing out 3 different ways to play a certain solo. I'm going to send them all to whoever would like the PDF, but definitely to the members. I'm not going to label the name of the tune. I want you to look at it, apply all the technique with your reading skills, the syncopated form, the 16th notes, the 32nd notes, so on and so forth. And I got 3 different variations of the same tune. Now I'm just going to make my stamp on my statements with those tunes about rudimental drumming. Okay? All right, do we have any questions? Well, every teacher, the question is, what's the purpose of long and short? Okay, I first explained that way of doing the vamp between the bass drum and the floor tom-tom was from the stick control book. So you were playing the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you were interpreting all R's, and all lefts would be the bass drum. So I did line 1. Now, that's one method or approach that I have. The next approach, and a lot of other teachers teach this as well. This actually, I really feel, in my opinion, it comes from, what's his name, Alan Dawson's school. Okay? So, we already took an approach from the stick control book as R and L. Now, we're going to make reading fun. If you look at a page, you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the same thing over and over again. So with the term, I'm looking at the quarter note by itself is a long note, and the eighth note is a short note. But it's just another way to apply it instead of and you're reading it. You're looking at, you might be thinking, uh, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's another way instead of right, left, right, right. So for guys who really don't know how to read that well, this is a stepping stone towards it. Plus, what you're doing is developing coordination at the same time and hopefully controlling your voices and making them as musical as possible. That's the purpose. One of the purposes, Robert. So it's just another approach. Somebody teaches it that way, and it does make sense. Long. I'm going to play 4/8 notes, which would be short, and then after that, I'm going to play 2 quarter notes. That would be here. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to go. I'm going to say what I'm doing. Short, 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 long, long, short, 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 long, long. It's just another way. That's all it is, Robert. That's all. I mean, it's just some educators have used that approach, which is a good one, as a matter of fact, and they've been successful with it and they stay with it. I use either or, and I try to see what works for the student, which is better. But it makes the reading a lot of fun. It really does. And we're going to keep going over this with all kinds of other readings. We're going to do a whole thing this week. We're going to go on Zoom. We're going to talk, and I'm going to tell you what's up. Okay? All right. Now, tonight, how many people are here? Tonight, again, like I said, we're in Facebook. I'm going to definitely be on my page, my home page, but I'm going to try to get it into the Art of Drumming group. Now, if I stay in the Art of Drumming group and I watch the video is still going on, but on my page. The only trick with that is I only can see the comments from one page. If you made a comment when you're on my page on the video, I can see it if I'm looking at it. But if I go over to the Art of Drumming, I don't see it. So I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to try something. I'll be around there, okay? Now, it's just a good exercise, and I just think I give too much work for these students. There's just so much to do. Come up with your own exercises, linear patterns, work with my hands, develop my reading, and I want to get some more coordination. Every drummer's wish list. You have to work hard for it, yeah. So don't be so hard on yourself and just try to accomplish what you can. Okay? Any questions, guys? We're going to get the beat coming back to this, too. That's in the workbook. Boy, there is a big delay with this, I'm telling you. All right, I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna come back tonight on Facebook, 7 p.m. Okay, and after I just said, I'm gonna just reiterate: when I teach. I don't perform. I'm not sitting behind my drum set displaying my abilities. I'm sitting behind here talking to you and finding out who you are, what you're all about, and how far are you into this, how long you've been playing. And what do? We have a relationship. But I'll tell you, it's crazy. It's just a beautiful thing. All right, guys. 2 more minutes. Boys, did you just get here? Hey, Boomba, it was us. It's 1:45. Robert, we'll see you tonight, okay? 7 p.m. Facebook.